Our cameras have been following the rebuilding of the World Trade Center site for months now. We've met the workers and executives behind the project who tell us it's much more than a construction job. The people building 9/11 memorials across the country say they feel exactly the same way. In fact, I recently visited one with a very special connection to Ground Zero. This 6,000-pound piece of burned and twisted steel might look like nothing more than scrap metal, but to the people of East Greenville, Pennsylvania, it's priceless.
That's a hallowed piece of steel. To our community, and I think to our country, that is about the most valuable steel you're ever going to get your hands on.
This steel survived the 9/11 terror attacks on the World Trade Center.
It's one of the main columns that supported the Twin Towers, and if you look at the piece that sticks off the side, that would have represented a piece of one of the floors.
9 years after the buildings were destroyed, this steel will be the centerpiece of a local 9/11 memorial. That means a lot to resident Eric Mayers.
Still 9 years and I still get teary-eyed about it.
His older brother Noel worked on the 84th floor of the South Tower as a bond trader. They spoke on the phone just moments after the first plane hit the North Tower.
When we were talking, he said, "Eric, it's total mayhem. People are jumping out of the building and just hear people in the background kind of screaming." We talked about a minute. We said we loved each other, hung up the phone.
That was the last time Eric spoke with his brother. He left behind a wife and his daughter, who was born 6 weeks after he died.
There's not a day that goes by that he's still on my mind. And what I wouldn't do to bring him back and, give him one more big hug and tell him I loved him.
It's very meaningful to our squadron and our post to have something like this on our property. It's an honor.
The local Sons of the American Legion started plans for the 9/11 memorial a year ago. They found out items recovered from the World Trade Center site, including some 1,000 pieces of steel, were being stored in Hangar 17 at JFK Airport in New York. They applied for and acquired a piece of the Twin Towers for their town. Earlier this month, a motorcycle motorcade escorted the steel from New York to its new home at the American Legion post in East Greenville.
I was the first motorcycle in the line, and I cried the whole way home.
It speaks to the tenacity of Americans and that we will not be taken down. We won't be beaten. We won't allow that.
This surviving piece of steel reminds a community that while thousands died on September 11, 2001, the American way of life prevails. The memorial will open there on November the 13th, and the organizers say they covered most of the $50,000 price tag with donations.